So, a little bit of dramatic happening in this video. Well, actually, no, there was a bit of dramatic that happened before this video. There's a little bit of dramatic happening during this video, and there's also a little bit of dramatic weather happening outside of this video. The wind is starting to blow, and I'm hoping to beat the clock here by getting all the recording done before the electricity disappears from the house. Maybe I should have saved it for another day, but this is such a very, very special today, because you see, today is 2/2. This is kind of an important thing concerning the subject matter we're going to be covering here, or that I'm going to be covering here. See, there it is. There's your proof right there. Oh, look, there it is right there. It just went to 202. So I'm legitimately recording this video at 2/2 on 2/2/2020 tweet. Boy, that really doesn't sound good coming out of me. So, all of the dramatics actually began on New Year's Eve Day 2022, where I finally just kind of had enough with myself. Ava, what's wrong with you? Why are you delaying? You know the thing is good. You know you like it. What's wrong with you? So, I finally kicked myself in the ass hard enough to pick up a DX build Daiyo from the 2014 Super Sentai series Resha Sentai ToQ-Oh. There's a reason for this. So the reason I didn't do an unboxing last month when I got this thing is because, well, a problem cropped up that I was not aware of when I bought this thing. It turns out that this secondhand and loose build Daiyo actually has some problems with it right out of the box, right out of the packaging. Actually, no, right out of the cardboard box that the sender sent it in. So there were two things that were just blatantly missing. The first one is that one of the waist connector clips, the lower one right there, is just outright broken, missing, gone, out of here. Nothing I can do about it. I searched the box, I searched the box, I searched the box, poof, gone. Wasn't there. Can't help you with it. The other thing that was missing was a bit more obvious, and that is that the, was it the ToQ-Oh? Is it ToQ-Oh? Yeah, ToQ-Oh Daiyo's mask is just outright gone, missing. It should be attached. There's no way to remove it. It's just outright broken. Okay? So, yeah, that was a bit discouraging. Now, I mean, it works fine otherwise. The transformation trigger that's on the back here that moves the shoulders around during the super combination, yeah, it's a bit too tight for my preference. So I sent a message off to the eBay seller, and I said, yeah, we have a problem here. And they said, oh noes. And I said, look, even if you find the parts, you know, where you are over on the opposite side of the pond over there, even if you find those parts, it's not going to be enough to be able to just glue them back on, okay? Because this is a clip or this is a piece that's really tiny, and it's meant to flex. If you glue it, then that flex is just gone, and eventually it's just going to break off again, okay? So this is damaged goods. I can't do anything about it. And I can't really live with myself if that ToQ-Oh Daiyo mask is gone. You know, so I emailed them not even 15 minutes after I got this out of the shipping box, and I said, there's got to be something we can do, you know. And so what ended up happening is I got a 10% discount back on my eBay purchase. So, yay, thanks to the seller. Sorry it couldn't work out, and you know, I'm sorry that it turned out the way it did. So, and then a few days after I verified that the refund had come back, I turned around and purchased a second Super Sentai toy. Like, I don't do that very often. I really, really don't. A second DX build Daiyo, which, yes, indeed, there's the mask right there, which is removable, and it too, oddly enough, comes with another broken waist connector. There's two little C clips that are in there. They're lined up with each other. Actually, they're wide. I might not have noticed this if I hadn't purchased two two within a short amount of time. These are both secondhand, and at this point, these are, oh my gosh, these are 9 years old. because next year will be 2024, and these will be 10 years old. Holy shit. Okay, I didn't even think of that till just now. What was wrong with me? Okay, so anyways, I think it's the fact that they both broke in exactly the same place. You see, it's the lower of the two clips right there. Tells me that at this point it's an engineering problem. It's probably it's a case of like when you're taking it off of the thing, you're twisting it, and you really shouldn't do that. And that's ended. You twisted it forward or you twisted it backwards. You did this kind of motion in order to remove it from the waist, which I suppose that's okay, meaning that this is actually an engineering problem more than anything else. It's like it's a flawed design rather than a manufacturing issue, is my point. So, if you have a DX build Daiyo, did yours ever do this? Please let me know in the comments. Let me know if this is a common occurrence to have happen, okay? This will just be added to my list of how is it that you can fuck up trains. So now I'm kind of stuck with the issue of having two build Daiyos. I'm actually going to have to think about this and try and figure out what I'm going to do with that. But in the meantime, I assure you that my reactions in this video to an unboxing, or I guess it's an overview at this point. It's not an unboxing because it's not in the box and it's already been touched at this point. So the reactions are going to be insincere, and I've actually been deliberately keeping this out of my hands for the last month so that I can no, 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 I can't hear, la la la, I can't see you, la 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 la. I've been doing that for the last month now, or less than a month actually. That was a really awkward intro. Like I said, I'm trying to beat the wind and the power outage right now, and I'm rushing, so I shouldn't have done that. But hey, I need something to do with my hands when the power goes out and the computers aren't working. So technically, this whole thing right here counts as the build Russia, and also this part. Oh, I'm sorry, I have to be showing the good sides. Technically, this whole thing is known as the build Russia because yeah, technically it is a train. Actually, maybe I should just like demonstrate it. There's a clip that you unfold on the back where the fist is, and you just tab it in, which makes this thing. Am I even going to be able to put the whole thing on? A little more. There we go. That's almost a yard. That's almost a meter long. It's pretty freaking ridiculous. I hesitate to say this is longer than the Diesel-O or the Diesel Russia or whatever it is. I hesitate to say this is bigger, but I don't know. It's pretty freaking big. But anyways, technically the whole thing is the build Russia, but ideally it's just the front part that we're interested in because this is the part that goes into the ToQ changer, and this is where the cockpit is located as well. So technically it's where the cockpit is. So this is the build Russia. And yeah, okay. Connects in exactly the same way that all the other Russia do. And its special feature is that, which is kind of, is it Yongo or Go-Go? Which one is it? 6-Go. Wait, it's not 6-Go. Who is it? Roku-gou. That's his name. Roku-gou. Why can I never remember that? Roku-gou. ToQ Roku-gou. He's not necessarily a construction worker. It's more like he does maintenance on the train line or on the ToQ line or whatever. So anyways, he's got this kind of a bulldozer looking thing, which construction on a rail line, I can live with that. That's fine. I'm sure they exist. There's not much reason for that. Now, obviously, the construction vehicles would be specifically designed for working on the rail, the rail line itself, and not necessarily things outside of that. So, you might be able to put, construction equipment might travel around on a train. Put this right. Oh, I wonder if this can attach. No, it cannot. You might be able to attach it and then travel around with it. That's a possibility. But the idea of having a construction or more specifically maintenance vehicle of some kind, yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. And I'm also surprised that all of these joints actually ratchet pretty darn well. I mean, it's a freaking excavator arm. Why would it ratchet so heavily? Probably has something to do with the transformations that are happening later on. So, But yeah, it ratchets very nicely. And then for whatever reason, it's got one of these telegraph thingies up on top here. Even though it just very much doesn't have enough room for it. Just saying. The other thing I'd like to point out is I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the build Russia has passenger windows all across it. Like, why? This is a construction vehicle. This is a construction and maintenance vehicle. Why would you? Yeah. So like even the build Russia has little windows right there. See, it's got windows there, and there's a cheeky little one right there. There's another one right there, and then across the back half, there's also windows right there. Kind of strange. Anyways, there's the clip right there that you fold down, so you can attach it to the back half. And again, it just pegs in like all of them do. I don't know why it is they didn't have these, um, actually peg or clip in somehow to each other, but that's just how it happened. And then so if you've got this maintenance arm sitting on the front, which oddly has the cockpit attached as well, and a couple little headlights right there, little gold colored headlights. That's kind of a nice thing. Yeah, yeah, trains do have headlights, so I guess I can't complain there. There's also a crane sitting up here. I have to show you the pretty side, sorry. There's also a crane that's sitting up here. No, actually, I'm going to show you this side. There's a crane that snaps every 90 degrees. Well, just off 45 degrees. So, yeah. But this one doesn't really do anything because, again, as I demonstrated earlier, it's supposed to come off. So actually snaps on there pretty darn well. But yeah, you've got a crane and then you've got a digging claw right there. So they actually do use. I think did they use this in the debut of the Build Rush? I think they did. So there you go. There's the front half of the Build Russia. Oh, that's the dirty side. Sorry, that's the one with all screw holes in it. Here's the pretty side. I don't know. I like it. Seems fine enough. And then here's the rest of it. Um, this is a very strange. And again, I mentioned earlier this one is covered in windows. If I could get them in focus, I apologize. There's windows all along there. There's a door. There's a double sliding door right there. More windows. I mean, it's really nicely detailed. Don't get me wrong. I forgot to mention, all the wheels are these little caster wheels like this, just little bar wheels. Bar wheel right there, and then there's another one right there. Actually, no, there's not right there. Or no, there's two small wheels. There's one at the front and one at the back there, or one on the one side, one on the other. Little black pixels right there. So yeah, there's a bunch of wheels on different kinds of wheels on this thing. Hello, what's this? There's some tape. Get rid of that. I should also point out that the second owner that I got this build Daiyo from, not only did they include a little, not a business card, but the little typed up note saying, "Thank you for your purchase, hope you enjoy it," but they also included a really tiny paper origami, what else is on origami but paper, a tiny origami crane included in there. Well, I mean, the darn thing wasn't even 2 inches tall. Like, wow, your fingers are so tiny, but thank you very much. But anyways, really interesting detail here. This is not your typical train. The train trucks is what they're called. Where the wheels are attached to. Those are actually called trucks. Interesting thing about the back half of the I want to say diesel all of a sudden, the build Russia is that this actually doesn't have any trucks on it per se. I mean, yeah, it's got wheels for the toy, but it doesn't actually have any trucks on it. I mean, they kind of sort of implied little areas that stick downwards, and yeah, okay, that's fine, whatever. But what you're actually seeing here is two gigantic tractor treads that have um, railroad tracks running across the top. So instead of like tractor treads on a tank, instead you have the tractor treads with railroad tracks. It's really strange, and it's also continued along the backside. Now, obviously, this is a thematic thing, but gosh darn it, that's not a really interesting looking thing. And I should also point out, yes, it does indeed contribute to the kind of construction or maintenance side of things. Like, well, there are trains out there, like legitimate maintenance trains. You can go look them up yourself, where they actually remove, the ties and the wood or the concrete. I don't know trains. Like they can actually remove old sections of track and put new sections on like a giant like quarter-mile long single piece machine or something like that. Like go look the videos up. It's actually pretty darn interesting if you can stomach the amount of time and how fast they move. So I'm guessing that aside from just, it's supposed to look like a passenger train and the thematics of having train tracks on here, an argument could be made that this is also a maintenance vehicle of some kind. And yeah, to be fair, it does actually match in pretty nicely with the rush, I'm gonna say build Russia. Yeah, build Russia. This is the build Russia. So, yeah, I mean, it's very obviously the legs of the build Daiyo. That's fine. That's okay. But to be fair, um, it actually is kind of imposing, and these do kind of look like giant scoops on the front here as well. So, because they have a little, I'm trying to get light on it. There is some piston detail on here, molded in. That's nice. I do like that. So, I mean, it could very easily be a plow of some kind, or it could be a scoop of some kind. I mean, there's a couple of different ways you can look at this thing, and also for whatever reason, it's got a bunch of passenger um, windows and doors and stuff on it. It's kind of strange in that regard. But hey, I mean, it's not a bad way to make a train. I can live with that. That's fine. So one of the curious things about the build Russia is that it doesn't just travel around like this. Actually, the front half of the build Russia will actually slide up onto the back half of the build Russia. Now, obviously, the toy cannot do this because of the type of wheels that they have under here, and the fact that it's just, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that just gets in the way. It can't be done. So you just take these and you click it twice. It's supposed to click twice, but obviously it's mine is broken, as I pointed out. Um, anyways, this is actually what the build Russia looks like when it travels into combat. Usually what it looks like, it comes in like this. It doesn't come separated. It comes in like this. And now a moment of truth that I discussed a couple of minutes ago in the intro where I said, oh yeah, I got two of these things. There's the other one right there. This is the moment of truth where here's the problem. You do not twist. Oops, I don't want to. You want to pull straight up. That's what you want to do. You want to pull straight up. Under normal circumstances, I think because the arms are pressing up against the legs, you can't really make this kind of motion when you're separating. So really the best option you've got is just to go straight up and down. That's it. That's all you can do. Because again, if you do this twisting motion in either direction, doesn't matter. If you go do that twisting motion, eventually, yeah, that's going to break. And I should also point out that the build Russia always orients itself the same way when you attach it here. You'll notice that there are no screw holes visible on this side, but they're all visible over here. You'll also notice there's the switch right there, and there's no train track that continues down here onto the lower half. But you'll see on the front, yeah, here's the train track, the thematic train track across the front here. So it always orients itself like this. It does not, it cannot, you can't take this off and flip it around 180, put it the other way. It simply won't let you. So anyways, let's move on. How do these drop down? Okay, so there's a pair of orange tabs right there. I don't know how well you can see them. There's orange tabs right there. You press down on those, and that activates the hips. Turn them, flip feet out. And then just drop the arms down. And let's see, let me double check. Are you supposed to flip the claw open? Okay, so the claw shovel thingy it's optional to pull this out if you want to. That is its weapon. It doesn't have a sword. It has this thing, so. But generally speaking, yeah, you can leave that closed up. And then you turn the crane, flip that around. There's the head, and there you have the build Dai-Oh, which is like build big king or build. Is it like great building king or big building king? Is that what it's supposed to mean? Build Daiyo? Yeah. Yep, there's Build Daiyo. Again, I don't mind the detail on this guy. I mean, whether it's regardless of how it goes together, I like the thematics that are on this guy. I really do. And he's absolutely 100% a very leggy beast. I mean, even compared to the other ones, which now that I think about it, I should have them separated for size comparison. But on the other hand, all of these are to scale with each other. So, yeah, generally speaking, they're all the same size. But anyways, yeah, Build Daiyo's legs are pretty doggone big. Or they're long. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. For, this is so silly. For the super combined form or whatever it is, these pairs of wheels here and here are actually on little springs. You can push them inwards. And the reason for that is when you set it on the ground, I should really be talking about that when it actually comes to it. Oh, well, I'm committed. When you set it down on the ground, it needs to be able to rest flat so that it provides friction for the whole thing to actually rest on its feet. Spoiler alert, the legs become platform shoes. So anyways, yeah, these wheels here and here, they're actually on little springs that push them up. So, yay. There's no posability in the legs except for arguably this, because oddly enough, they ratchet every 45 degrees. Don't ask me why, they just do. I should also point out that for safety's sake, not because of combination's sake, but for safety's sake, yeah, the legs do actually come apart. So I guess they figured it was a better deal to have them separate than it was to have them like be part of a single piece that was manufactured. Maybe if I'd gotten it in the box, I would have had an answer to that question. I should also point out that when I got the second Build Daiyo in the mail, both of the legs were separated, and it's interesting to point out that these are actually deliberately off center, or at least the mounting points for them are off center, and that's so that it can see how that mounting point is off to one side deliberately. You know, that's not a flaw. And you can see the other connection point. You can see it's off center right there as well. So, yeah, you can only attach the legs one way. Articulation, every 45 degrees, standard affair. And surprisingly, the safety shoulders, or the shoulder pads that are right here, by the way, safety first always. The shoulder pads, and they've actually done this before in Super Sentai, but it's quite amusing here. It's the fact that you actually can get the arms all the way around past the really, really annoying shoulder pads. That's actually a good thing. And I just now realized by doing that my Build Daiyo, the waist connector, because there's only one of two clips actively functioning right now, it means that the waist is going to tilt a little bit where ordinarily it wouldn't. So I'm going to have to be really, really careful when I turn the arms, because that is definitely going to be a problem. And then some extra articulation, which is actually really convenient here. The arms fold out to the side, obviously. You can get away with that. You can get them up, out like that. Yay. And then, let's see. Yes, because of transformation, you actually can get the arms to fold backwards. I don't really think that's going to help you any, unless you want to like do the Naruto run. If you want to do that, then more power to you, I guess. Yay. Now, even though the head moves like this, it's actually the helmet that moves around the head. So the face is stationary, but the rest of the helmet moves around it. Let's see, I'm trying to show you. See how the face stays in position, but the rest of it moves around it? So close to head articulation. Just so close. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to get my hands on a drill Russia. Because quite frankly, I don't want to get the Udo breaker. Now, the reason I bring up the drill Russia is because the drill Russia is closest associated with the build Daiyo. So, like ordinarily, the drill Russia is attached to build Daiyo, but I just didn't want to go through the trouble of getting my hands on a Udo breaker because, like, yeah, the Udo breaker it's okay, it's all right, it's fine, whatever, but from what I've heard, if the only reason you're going to buy the Udo breaker is for the drill Russia, then chances are you probably don't want to do that. So, like, I'm not offended by the Udo breaker. I might give into it someday. I don't know. But yeah, I decided not to get a Udo breaker. So that means still not going to get a drill Russia. So and I don't want to do that thing where you're only buying parts of a set off of eBay or off of wherever. You're buying only, this specific car because there's another one of these that would be floating around out there that's missing an arm, you know. So I feel guilty about buying parts of a set or a kit or whatever as opposed to buying the whole thing. So I might get a Udo breaker someday just to get a drill Russia, but at this point I'm not in a hurry. So, although maybe I'll buy one next year for the 10th anniversary. I don't know. Udo breaker's not horrible. It's okay. It's fine. Actually, there's a really funny Easter egg built into the Udo breaker, but I'll get to that if I ever get one. But there are a couple of other official combinations that I can do with this. So the first and most readily available one, you take both arms off, and then you take the tanker Russia, attach that to, oh, hello, get on there. What the hell? Oh, because they turn sideways. That's why. Yep. Okay. Wow, I didn't know it would do that. Oh, that's weird. That's completely the. Is a. Oh no, I guess there isn't. Okay, so you would have build Dai-Oh tanker, which honestly I'm surprised because on both the previous two robos, which are the ToQ-Oh and the Daiyo, the train cars are actually oriented in this direction. But in the case of build Daiyo, which I didn't realize until just now, these are always turned to the side. You can't turn them to face forward. This actually would have been an excellent opportunity to put a bicep swivel in there so that you could have that, which, would have been some better articulation, They should have done that, but they didn't for whatever reason, so yeah, no, Build Daiyo has a bit of boxing punching capability. Explosive punching capability. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. The other combinations that I just looked up on the Power Rangers wiki, both of them involve the shield Russia, which I do not have at this time, unfortunately. But those involve the police and fire Russias, which I do have. So technically you can get fire and police onto the build Daiyo, but officially the only times you saw that happen is when I had the shield Russia, which I don't have at this time for the same reason that I don't have a drill Russia. So unfortunately at this point, this is the only official combination that I can get out of the build Daiyo. Yay. So, true to my word, I've had Cho Safari Gaho on display here the entire time as this. And I just took this off, and it was, I'll say again, incredibly convenient for those extra Safari Gaho pieces that you can just snap them onto the back like that. That saved me a ton of trouble, believe it or not. When I found that, it's like, yes, I can do that. Woohoo! It's still really narrow. and it's still really tall. Well, actually, the tall part doesn't bother me, but yeah, it's very, very wide, absolutely. And now we're going to add a bit more height to it, and hopefully a little bit more thickness to it. So what we're going to do, actually, is absolutely nothing. I think, yeah, you don't do anything with this. That's it. The head stays and those stay. Okay, so you do absolutely nothing to start the super combined form. You just do this. No, I take it back. I'm wrong. I'm lying. I apologize. You take the head off. That's it. That's all you do. You take the head off and this is ready. I really should have changed this back into train mode. And you freaking hypocrite. You just did the very thing that you warned everybody not to do by twisting it off to the side. Maybe it is an engineering problem. I don't know. Hello, I just did that without even... Isn't that supposed to snap into place? Well, maybe just the one hip connector is... Because these orange buttons here that I pointed out earlier, this is what gets the hips display in and outwards. So this one's locked pretty tightly, but without even thinking, and notice I'm not touching the button over here, just flipped up all by itself. So, okay, that one's a little more loose. I'm going to have to be a little more cautious of that. And then to get the feet to flatten out, you slide this upwards, and then that unlocks that. Push up and unlocks that. Slide this up, and that folds down. So you want to start out with it like this. How does this work? Let's see. Yeah, I think it goes this way. Okay. So turn it like this. Fold them at the, I guess this would be thigh. Thigh joints right here is what this is. Fold at the thigh joints. And then, yes. And then turn these down like that. That's that. Maybe I should... Here is the reason why I didn't get the build Dai-Oh originally. This right here. Okay. Let's see. That goes to there, and that goes to... How does this connect? I haven't done this before, so... Okay, that tab's there. And... that tab's there. And yeah, again, this is the reason why I didn't get this thing. So we got a giant pair of platform shoes, which, to be fair, actually do add some depth for the first time ever. They actually add depth to this thing. Granted, it sits on the bottom, but we'll get to that. Take the two front, the back rusher off. How does this work? That, like that, and you take care of those shoulder joints to fold that back, snap. Yes, okay. And then there's okay. I need to figure out the routine for how to do this. So okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay, so fold these two back like that, and I'm going to remove the mask, just in case, get that out of there. You pull forward, not up. You pull forward on the mask. And then there's a, oh, and then you turn the head, let's see, which way, that way, that way. So you turn the helmet backwards. Okay, you can see there's a screw port right there, it's not the face. The face is still covered up, and you can see because the track's right here, okay. So there's no face right there. There's no face right there, because you want those lights to be vertical right there. And then there's a gray button right there. And I push down. Yeah, I push down. And this is actually kind of cool, slightly. So you push down, and the shoulder assembly stays where it is, but the center of the torso, center of the chest, folds down like that and snaps into position. Huh. Some actual transformation in a single piece right here. Not like none of this gets disconnected or whatever. That's actually refreshing. Is that true? Yes, that's true. Yeah, so that's a single piece right there. We still have the mask right here. So I want to see, fold up. Yeah. So I want to take the crane as ordinary like this, fold it up, fold the mask up. That is completely friction, by the way. So fold that upwards. How does this connect? So there's two clips on the back of the shoulders right there. Right there. There's two clips right there. One there and one on the other side. And those plug in on top of, let's see, this would be falcon and I think it's alligator, crocodile rushes. You plug those in there. That's actually a surprisingly close fit. I wasn't expecting it to fit that well. I think it goes on top like, or does it? Yes, that's correct. Okay. So then why is it, whoa, okay, something's not right here. Why is it not? You must be joking. Wait, what? Impossible. No. You must be joking. No fucking way. Those snap into position. You've got to be joking. No. I can't do it. I can't do it because of this. The unique head for the Lion Resha. There's tiny smokestacks sitting on here. It's not compatible. I don't believe it. Oh my god, I don't believe it. It's not compatible. I don't believe it. I didn't even think of that till just now. What? No way. I've seen pictures of it. Unless it was forced, which you don't want to do. Oh my god, it's not compatible. I don't believe it. I can't do it. Impossible. I've seen pictures of it. And by the way, it has nothing to do with the main. You know, I could take this off. That's not the problem. It's not this. The problem is these little gray smokestacks or whatever they are sitting on the top here bumps up. I don't believe it. I'm gonna have to look at the Resha or the red Resha because like that's. I can't believe that just happened. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
20 minutes later.
Wow. 9 years later, you would think that I would know this by now, but no. The way it works is some people force it. Some people photoshopped it. And others just removed the head of the Lion Russia and they stuck something else in there. But they all say, yeah, the head of Lion Russia. I can't even make ToQ-Oh Safari Daiyo. I can't do it because it's. I mean, I can do everything except for that one part, and I'll be damned if I'm going to force those shoulder connector or torso connector points. I don't believe it. Actually, I do believe it. I've witnessed it firsthand. So. And of course, because this is a free turning joint right here, by the way, obligatory joke right there. Yeah, it's like I can force it, but this immediately pops off. Wow. I'm gonna end up getting a ToQ-Oh anyways. Wasn't planning on that. Well, that totally burst my bubble. I'm gonna end up getting a ToQ-Oh anyways. I was planning to like this is gonna be it, like whatever, but now I gotta get another one. Or I got wow, just wow. I was not expecting that. Well, it was working up to that point. I guess I might as well finish this off because this is how it was done in the show. So that's oriented that way. Do these? No. Okay, and that's there. Okay, so you stick the head on there. Wow, I am deflated right now. You take the crane, peg it on top of the head like that. Then that all important mask that I, didn't get there. This is a friction only joint. You just fold this down, covers it up. There's the head. So, which to be fair, yeah, I like that. I think I like, I like it either way, whatever. But I think, like, having the face right there, that's fine. But I think adding the visor to it, I think that helps a little bit. Also got those hazard stripes on it. So, and then I also like how, yeah, you can have this turned sideways if you want to have it line up with the train, the rails. But having it turn this way, that's okay because then you get an extra set of lights right there, gold painted lights right there. So, wow, I was actually looking forward to having this attached and some reviewers pointed out that yeah, you can for the Safari Go specifically, you can do it this way. Just leave leave the upper torso part out. Leave this out of it. So you can do it that way if you want to, but you're kind of losing that injection of orange. So wow, that I was looking to a little bit of rainbow sunshine during the incoming power outage, but hmm. Okay. Um, you take the two halves, and you snap them together. Boy, I hope this part doesn't break. Okay, that doesn't break. That's good. All right. And then I have the Safari Gao's head here. Let's see which side goes on this side. And that way, yes. Okay. And that just fits with friction right in there. And then you take the claw, or I guess the excavator head, and you turn it like that. And then there's a tab on the back there. Fold that or flip that out. Boy, that's depressing. God, I did not see that coming. I just that tells you how often I look at other people's reviews. I didn't even think of that. Like, I wasn't planning to get a build Daiyo. Why isn't this coming out, by the way? Get out of there. By the way, why is the handle painted orange? Why isn't it just molded in orange? There's certainly plenty of orange plastic on the Go here. Why do they need that? Okay, so that actually snaps there, and there's a little handle that pops out there. Tilt the right arm forward 45 degrees. And I'm sorry, I'm all deflated. I'm sorry, that was not. I know optimism was supposed to be on the order of the day, but there you go. There's the somewhat complete ToQ-Oh Safari Daiyo. There it is. Yay me. And this actually rests on the ground, so. Yay, I finished it. Woo. Okay, let's come out with a big finish here. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Okay, so one of the big complaints with the ToQ-Oh Daiyo, which this is not, by the way, I don't know what the hell this is it's got thighs and a pelvis and more thighs right here. And nobody likes it. Nobody likes it because it's not even separate feet. Now, obviously, because it's train themed, it rolls like this. Okay, whatever. And I also saw the mini plow version of this. You can actually get some interesting poses out of the legs here. But the fact is, they're still attached to the back here. Well, remember that thing I said earlier about safety first when it came to the legs being separated or whatever it is? Well, it turns out. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to cause any more trouble. Well, that popped off really easily. That concerns me. Okay, so what you can do, take that off, discard this, and then just reattach these. Hope I get these on the correct side. Not that it really matters, I suppose. Oh, good, okay. Oh, they self-correct. All right. So there, you can in fact display your platform shoes really, really long, like clown type shoes. You actually can do that. But as is typical of most of the Resha Buso, you end up with a lot of stuff left over, which is exactly why I'm not going to be getting my hands on a Hyper Resha. I'm never getting that thing. Like, I'm just going to say it right now. I'm never getting that thing. I hate that thing. I hate that thing with a burning passion. And it was a terrible end to what was admittedly kind of a strange combine for. Because, like, all you're using for the ToQ Rainbow is just the front of all the Reshas, and everything else you see here, most of the bodies of the Resha or hulls or whatever the Resha get discarded. They get thrown aside, you know. So yeah, I'm never ever ever going to get a ToQ or Hyper Resha Teo. Never going to get one of those things. Just not doing it. Mama Ava raised no fool. So there you go. And this, you know, so damn, I'm depressed now. Shit. Um, Here's the interesting thing about the Reshigatai system from ToQ-Oh. Here's the interesting part. The individual trains are not bad, and the basic combined forms are okay. If it's just ToQ-Oh by itself, it's fine. If it's Diesel-Oh by itself, it's fine. If it's Build Daiyo by itself, it's fine. Oddly enough, it's when you start combining things that's where you start getting into trouble. Now, this aside, okay, this little problem here, forget that, okay. Just overall, the Reshigatai system is just it's really clunky when it comes to combining, and a portion of that has to do with how how the things don't actually transform. Like this, legitimate. This is one of the few components, single piece components that actually transforms, actually has moving parts to it just by itself, as opposed to just parts forming. Which this right here, when it comes to parts forming, this right here is acceptable. It's a block, but it has multiple steps that are involved, and then you attach it to something. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. None. And despite the problem that I've just now come across with the, oh, by the way, even if I were to take this off, this is not a friction joint, so it's just going to keep falling. It's just going to keep drooping. There's just no energy to this thing. So, yeah. But anyways, that's kind of the deciding factor for me was that, you know what, Build Daiyo by itself is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's this right here. This is what kept me from getting it. It's this thing. Whatever is this, a spear or a staff of some kind? I'm not entirely certain. But it exists. So whatever. It was the combined form of Chocho Tokyo Daiyo. That's why I didn't get build Russia or build Daiyo for all these years, or 9 years. I didn't get for 9 years. So, um, but then I was like, you know what, Ava, get over the hill. It's gonna, it's fine by itself. And you also get to do combined forms with the arms and whatnot. So I got this more because it works well with itself instead of like the combined form or whatever it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like Cho Safari Go. That's fine. That's still somewhat amusing. So okay, I can live with that. But like Chocho Safari Dio or Chocho Tokyo Dio, um, mm, yeah, what's here is not bad. I'm not I'm not opposed to what's happening here. The fact that not one but two secondhand build Daios had a break in exactly the same place, that concerns me. I can understand the mask is on a really thin piece of plastic up here, and somebody removes it incorrectly and poof, it's gone. I can understand that. Could you make it a PVC? It wouldn't have made any difference at that point, and you wouldn't have been able to sculpt it as detailed as ABS would. So I guess they were in kind of a pinch. Maybe if they designed this a little differently, it would have made a difference. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that waist connector is apparently a bad thing. So, um, and I hesitate to say that's an age thing. I think that's an engineering problem. That's like they should have used a different kind of connection at the waist. That's what they should have done. But otherwise, Build Dio's not bad. I like the style of it. I like how it transforms. It's a bit on the simple side, but there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Okay. Um, and by the way, no, having I still gotta figure out what to do with that thing now. Like have two of them on display. You know me. I'm not an army builder. I'm not an army collector. So like having two of the same thing is really strange with me, and I've said that before. So quite frankly, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that because it is broken, and I guess I could sell it. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that yet. So. But I will worry about that when the camera is not rolling still. And so with that, this is AV Unit 4A saying thank you very much for tuning in. Oh, the power hasn't gone out yet. Well, the wind also isn't at its strongest yet, so I made it all the way through. Yay.